Lois, left and a right winger again. Um, we noticed a different shave today. I let things grow out with the pandemic a little bit, and I was going to shave, and I said, I just did. I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I said, yeah, it's funny. It reminds me of it's not as lengthy as, but if you've seen pictures of President Chester Alan Arthur, they kind of look like this, the same idea. And I thought, hey, what a way to kind of do an homage. And I was already breaking my plan. I know I was intending to do Thomas Jefferson next, but I had this, and I said, you know what? It's a good time to talk about Chester Alan Arthur, who's probably, if you see the final list, he's probably the 10th best president of all time for me, which I might as well go into what I talked because we were just talking about John Adams. What's interesting, if he started the Navy and really made a thing, is that Arthur's the guy that brought it back. We really didn't have a little bit in the Civil War, but mostly we had a quiet Navy. We really dealt with it. Arthur was a big proponent of bringing it back and putting a lot of money into it. And overall, the economy was good under him. We had a small depression, but he got us out of it. It wasn't really remembered. He supported higher tariffs, and at the time, they allowed for better wages for working people, which was good. He was a strong supporter of legal immigration. He vetoed the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, which was merely they wanted a 20-year ban on any Chinese or Asian Americans coming to the country, and he said no, we should no allow immigration to come in. I guess there was a lot of competition in the Western United States. They didn't really, for work or whatever, they didn't want necessarily a lot of the Asians immigrating into the country at that point. But he opposed it. He said, no, let them in. He did admittedly want to have a compromise. Instead of a 12-year ban, he went for a 10-year ban. Fine. I mean, we do have some kind of restrictions today on the volumes that come through, so I get it. So it's fine. Um, it also was big. I didn't mention it somewhat because, as I talked before, as we're coming to again, Ulysses Grant was probably one of my favorites, maybe a little bit better than Arthur. Um, but he passed the Civil Rights Act of 1875. Only problem is, even though it was good that he did that, it was the Supreme Court decided that it was unconstitutional in 1883. Arthur was vehemently opposed to that. He thought it was ridiculous that they did that, and he was kind of left not much else to do about it because it took it down, and it was very tough at the time to pass much more because we under Reconstruction. There wasn't for a lot left to be done in that area. Unfortunately, we were stuck where we were as far as civil rights until the 1960s. Made a little relief in the 40s, but that's about it. Unfortunately. But the big thing I remember Arthur on, and I mentioned this in the other video, is it I really appreciate his turning a new leaf because he was known as a big part of the spoils system, which I may have mentioned before on the video, but I'll just go over again. It's the idea of you let your buddies and friends get government jobs, and a big thing on our and like I said about Grant, kind of kind of hurt his presidency a lot, even though he didn't know much about it, even though he was a great president. It had some minor repercussions from that. Um, but then we come to Arthur. He wasn't elected president. He became because James Garfield was assassinated. Now, Garfield was a big anti spoil system guy. He was a big part of the civil service reform and things like that. And making, people got him because of their merits, not necessarily because of who they know and that sort of thing. Um, and Problem is, when Garfield was assassinated, he was supposed to be a job seeker guy. He thought he was entitled to a job, and he's big in the spoil system out in New York. I don't think he ever knew Arthur, um, but he notoriously said after he shot Garfield, I'm stalwart of the stalwarts, and now Arthur is president." Because he was a big proponent of helping. He thought he helped Garfield out. He actually wrote some speeches and things like that. He thought he had some deal with Garfield. I don't know if he had any goal of getting Arthur in, but Arthur, this is what I really like about him as a man, is that he saw that and realized this is something wrong. I'm going to do the right thing, and became a big, total reversal. Big guy, big time into supporting civil service reform. He did everything he could to implement further that Interstate Commerce Commission. I think it was somewhat, it wasn't passed by him, but it was laid out by him because he was one of the big guys who wanted it. He was really big guy to stop it all from happening. and continuing, like he turned everything. Roscoe Conkling, I mentioned the other Garfield video too, was a big proponent of what he wanted to see happen with the spoil system, getting these government jobs. He was a little disappointed that he kind of turned his back. Arthur kind of turned his back on him. He did the right thing, and as I said in the other video, I really like this idea of somebody who does a who starts with the wrong and finds their right and really makes something out of it. There's something I don't know what the phrase is for that, but it's nice to see that someone can see the error of their waves like that and then become that much better of a person for it. Um, it's just a shame, though. I mean, it's interesting too is that I mean, he was very even he part of him thought about running for a second term, but and he was even considered for it. But I mean, there was some competition. There's like James G. Blaine, who became an opponent, was a little bit more popular. But at the same time, he was suffering from what they call nephritis, which is the kidney problems. So whoever wasn't a good fit for it didn't get the nomination, and he didn't live much long after leaving office. So it just kind of is what it is. But a journalist, Alexander McClure, once said, "No man ever entered the presidency so profoundly and widely distrusted as Chester Alan Arthur, and no one ever retired more generally respected alike by political friend and foe." Because, like I said, it really changed him as a man. I mean, I don't think he was considered much of a bad guy before he became president, but he was on essentially the wrong side of politics with the spoil system and that sort of thing. And for him to totally reverse that, I still think was great. Mark Twain even said it would be hard indeed to better President Arthur's administration. Like I say, he's one of the best. That's why I put him at number 10. He is definitely one of the best of all for me for what he was able to do as a person, what he stood for. Um, yeah, there wasn't a lot memorable, which is why, unfortunately, a lot of historians consider him a mediocre president, one of the most forgotten presidents, because there isn't a lot standing out for him. But he did good. I mean, the economy, like I said, was pretty good shape. He was lowering the budget. The 19th century, we really had, I think, an underrated economy. I mean, like a lot of people wanted into some of the political aspects of things that were going on socially, which were problems. I won't deny that, and I agree with that. But I don't think it's why the economy was so good. I think we could have had a good economy regardless of what are the things we were doing wrong, whether with other rights and things like that. We still could have had such a great economy. Um, we could have an economy like that now, and all the reforms we have now. But anywho, that's my thoughts on Chester Alan Arthur, great president, and I don't know how long I'll have this, but we'll see. And maybe we'll continue in other videos. See you soon.